Sasa Maba, and I live in Kayamandi, Stellenbosch.
My name is Solom Dala. I currently reside in Kayamandi, Stellenbosch.
My name is Inathi Ntanjana. I'm currently residing in Upper Kayamandi. I grew up in Kayamandi.
Greetings, my name is Limyo Limoni. I come from Kayamandi, Stellenbosch. Yeah.
Igama lami nginguKhanya Mithi. I'm a student, one of Let's Talk podcast members.
I am Lumka Swat. I am a student in Coding Academy. I am part of the student council there, and I am currently working for the podcast Let's Talk. Okay, so what inspired the idea of starting a podcast?
Well, sasihleli ekoneni amazinga. We always tell that story. My story is one. Ekoneni amazinga, having conversations amongst ourselves. We had screenshots for everything. Each and every topic is exercise. We got copy screenshot. I can improve on. And then one day, it's a more okay, it's a raining day. The raining day is really a training game. I remember quickly running home. One of the names we had was Who Points of Order, and I don't know how it disappeared, but it's not here anymore. Yeah, that's basically where it started, in a car.
Well, I was also inspired to join and be part of the founders, but because of the conversations I was a PSI, just like you said, screenshots of almost every conversation, and I hope we will have it at a larger scale and reach more people besides ourselves. That's why I got involved.
I hope to contribute to the change in Kayamandi by educating our listeners, especially youth, about important issues that we face as youth, and also by sparking conversations and different perspectives to inspire the action. So I believe we can change we can change our community, and we can improve the community.
Yes, Let's Talk. Hope to contribute towards Kayamandi by educating and uplifting the youth through spreading of information on sensitive topics and just that sort of stuff.
So now I hope to contribute kundoba. I'm the one inviting a guest ezizawuthetha izinto that are educational, that will educate abantu or abantwana ekule mihla siphila kuyo. Even us, there are things that we need to be educated. We do not have a full knowledge esinayo nathi, so there are things esizawuziva esifuna ukuziva from abanye abantu or from the other people from the outside. So yeah, that's how I hope to contribute.
The podcast on its own was made to be educative, so I believe in the power of education. So as a content director at Let's Talk, which is now going to become Unwanted Chats, I make sure that the content here to aligns with what is being discussed in the community. So instead of just coming up with these on our own, we also welcome ideas from our viewers. We get information from them what they would want us to talk about, and we invite relevant guests who would be able to explain these topics. Yeah.
Well, the main reason why I came to join the podcast is to help the youth of this township. Whenever I had conversations with some people like my age or my peers, I would notice that they do not really have big dreams about their future and so forth. And so what we are trying to do as a podcast is help those kind of people, to see more value in their lives and their future as well. So that's what I'm trying to do with the podcast, and just trying to help the youth dream bigger and, see a brighter future for themselves than what they actually are right now.
First of all, I'm going to contribute through the podcast, of course, by engaging in the podcast, sharing what I know, being involved, trying to get people involved, sharing, inviting people, all of that. Do everything that I can possibly do, to make this podcast boom and grow, and also through it, better the community.
Welcome to Let's Talk. This is a small educative podcast which aims to educate and enlighten South Africans, young and old, about what is happening around them. It is of paramount importance for us to be aware of what is going on around us in order for us to know what the future holds for the youth and for the old. I am Hlomla Mdala, a university student, and I live in Cape Town. You can find me on my Facebook page at Hlomla Mdala.
Here is Limioli Moni, a school student, 17 years of age. I'm also residing in Cape Town. You can find me on IG at Limioli Sena, on Facebook, Limioli Moni. Right next to me is
Inatintanjana, ufunda high school, ngegu age ina 18, on Facebook Inatintanjana. Thank you.
Simtam Kabateli, currently residing in Cape Town.
And then going to record our very first video. Go Mrs. Mugwai. It was load shedding that day. It was a Sunday, load shedding, and kid you not, we did a voice note. First video was a voice note. Yeah.
So you didn't have any equipment whatsoever?
Yeah.
There's no equipment.
Just had a phone.
Just had a phone. I think this is the phone.
Oh, yeah, put
I had an iPhone XR. Yeah, iPhone 10. We used a voice note, guys. A voice note. We had no equipment whatsoever. Asina mic, asina mix. We were just using phone cameras. I remember the days I suggest you use a video instead of instead of sound. You see on your body. Needs to do with visuals.
I was camera shy. I was really scared. It does the phobia. I'm going like this. I don't know. West I see I'm putting the public platform. I don't know. But as time went on, I got used to it. Yeah.
So when you started, did you think that it would come this far? Like the podcast would have reached the stage where it is right now, or did you think it was just a phase or die out?
No, besides bayawufikelela apha because now besikala siyazi but because it has been kudala ikhona lento qha ke ngoku just came uba masithathe action because kudala ikhona kwingqondo zethu kudala ikhona ngenyani, so we just decided uba no, let's take an action guys, singaveske sithethe kuthi. So yeah, besiyazi uba iyawuzifikelele kule ndawo sifike kuyo ngoku.
Ndibona lo podcast yethu sine-studio sethu. First of all, sinento zethu man si-interviewa abantu abakhulu. Ewe ke sidibene no-president, but ke still sisafuna umitha more of abantu. Sine-studio sethu, sinento zethu, siyiphangelela, sidla from yona.
Well, I see the podcast in about 5 years flourishing and having partnerships with other companies and organizations, and hopefully giving back to the community of Kaimani. Yeah.
In 5 years' time, I want to be a bit delusional for this one. I see ourselves, in News 24, somewhere there, being on the news, being in TV, maybe having our own channel, you never know, having some connections with people that can benefit us overseas and so forth. So yeah, in 5 years' time, I do see us, you know, in new heights, as I say, television and so forth. So yeah, that's where I see ourselves in 5 years.
The podcast in 5 years, we are going big, guys. We are going big, and I see it very far. As Olunga said, it might sound like a delusion for now, but it's going very far. And Ndibona podcast with thousands of subscribers. First of all, working with some brands, big brands, working with the government, if it's possible, to spread information on things that are not being discussed in communities. So in 5 years' time, I see the podcast very, very far and doing big things in communities, working together with other organizations in our communities, making sure that every information is being spread. And we are using podcast here to provide information which is straightforward. We're not talking about a lot of things at once. If we are talking economics, we're going to talk economics. If we're talking politics, we're going to talk politics. Whatever we're talking about, we make sure to provide proper and straight to the point information.
In 5 years' time, I hope to see the podcast grow like exceedingly abundantly, like greatly. I hope I hope for us to be more recognized, to collaborate, to make money. And not just be only based in Kamani, from be based in other townships as well, have influence all over South Africa, and eventually throughout the entire world.
So we're busy on that. Our aim is to educate. So I see Let's Talk, Unwanted Chats, since Let's Talk, Unwanted Chats very, very far. Sele building yakhe, offices yakhe, we've been dealing with our things. Thank you very much. I thank you.
Thanks.